Hello. This is a review of Project Hail Mary, the new movie that came out like a month ago, maybe. I saw it like a week or two ago. It is starring Ryan Gosling, and he is a guy who I'm like, what can I say that isn't a spoiler? He's a guy that goes on a very important mission into space and and to save humanity. And it's a very optimistic, positive movie that I really, really loved. And now from this point on, there'll be light spoilers. I mean, uh, I don't even know. I don't have that much to say about this movie, but what I do have to say is very, very positive. Uh, I think Ryan Gosling does a great job. He's always Ryan Gosling really doesn't miss. It's hard for me to think of an actor that's more consistent about picking good, work that isn't crazy. Like he doesn't completely lose himself in a character, but he does pick things that are challenging, and he's a great leading man. He's a great leading man. And he needs to be a great leading man because for the most part this movie is just him. Even when it does start to involve another character, that character is not a human being, it's an alien. Spoiler alert, Rocky and Grace, the iconic duo, seriously, the alien guys. I mean, but it starts with Grace, which is Ryan Gosling's character, the school teacher turned scientist turned reluctant hero astronaut, very reluctant hero astronaut, trying to figure out what the heck he's gonna do in space. How the heck? First off, when he wakes up, he's just trying to figure out who is he and why is he here to begin with, which is an interesting hook that I wish they did a little bit more with. It's kind of just used at the beginning of the movie to heighten, tension. And then he pretty quick, I mean, not super quickly, but like he is able to figure out. Like it's kind of just a vehicle for him to be figuring out who he is alongside us, the audience, when we get those flashbacks to his time on Earth that establish him as, establish the backstory of why he's up here, which I think is for me was the weakest part of the movie. Anytime we cut back to a scene of him on Earth, I was kind of like, okay, I just think they didn't. And maybe the book is better about this. It's very much based on a book. When a movie is absolute cinema, total peak, and the only thing holding it back is you can tell that there are plot beats or character moments or just things that I would have liked to see further explored that I'm like, okay, those might have been explored further in the book. I've had that a lot where it's like it's a 9 out of 10 movie that if the book explains everything that I wanted more information on, the book might be a 10 out of 10, But this movie absolutely justifies its existence as a film. It's not just like, well, the book is better. Why would you watch that movie? Because the I don't know if I've ever seen another movie that is more like reverent of the beauty of space and the wonder of the unknown, and also the terror of it. Like the way that the movie can jump back and forth between the enlightened wonder of like scientific discovery and finding the unknown and figuring it out, and also the like terror of, I mean, even the threat that is facing Earth that he gets sent into space to combat is this interesting thing that is one of the most beautiful shots in the movie is when they like turn on this light that lets him see the like bacteria things that are basically, there's some bacteria that are like eating the sun, and he has to go to another solar system to figure out like, oh, on this solar system the bacteria isn't eating their sun, we need to figure out why. Again, this is all like, I did say light spoilers. It's hard for me to talk about this movie without any spoilers, but I did go in most of it. The only thing I knew was that he was a school teacher turned reluctant hero astronaut, and he makes friends with an alien rock guy called Rocky, and that's like all I knew about this movie. So I didn't. So we're going into spoilers, things I didn't know that were fun to discover. But anyway, these bacteria. One of the most beautiful shots in the movie is when they use this like light thing, and then suddenly you see he's surrounded by these bacteria thing, and they're all lit in red, and it's an absolutely gorgeous, like wondrous moment where he's just in awe. But it's also like these things that are beautiful are also the things that are destroying the sun that he's there to like stop and also like harness, like they provide a lot. They're like energy suckers almost. I don't know. It's a little fuzzy, the scientific details, but that's not for the movie's lack of explaining them. It's just for my lack of remembering them or understanding them, but mostly remembering, I think. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that those bacteria things are both like this source of terror, the entire source of conflict in the film, but they're also the source of this source of wonder. And the whole movie is kind of like that, this push and pull between the wonder of the unknown and the terror of it, the fear and the excitement. And Ryan Gosling plays that really well, this character of Grace, where he's so afraid to do this. He's so afraid to be here. He didn't want to go into space. He doesn't think he can do it. But the human curiosity and wonder and like just it's a great like uh tenacity of the human spirit kind of movie, where like just his curiosity and his scientific drive and his like need to know what is going on and need to experiment and explore, like it's in this battle with the fear and the terror and the anxiety about how are we going to save humanity, how am I going to save myself, can I save myself even if I save humanity, like great like becoming a hero story. Just a real like classic hero's journey, but also like but in this like beautiful sci-fi setting in one of the most gorgeous, like see this movie in the theaters kind of theatrical. This is probably the most like see this movie in a theater kind of experience I've had since probably like Dune Part 2 or Across the Spider-Verse, whichever one of those came out more recently. But those are like parts of a series. This is a self-contained story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's a really, really good one. Every like plot point, every detail, like it takes you on a journey, and it's because with the mixture of the visuals, the score is great too. I'm not sure who the composer is, but it has this great like choral quality. There's a lot of like choir singing, uh and it very much like matches the mood of the scene of whatever scene is being scored. And there's intensity, there's danger, there's action, there's friendship, his bond with this rock guy. I think that's why the Earth parts feel a little like the worst part of the movie to me, is whenever they cut back to Earth, it's like there it serves a certain purpose at first. I'm like, okay, well this this is needed to explain why he's here, what's going on. Like it's interesting at first, but after like the first act, every time they cut back to Earth, I was kind of like, all right, but when are we going back to the cool space stuff? There's one really cool scene where the Sandra Hüller's character, the one who's like recruiting him for the mission, sort of opens up in an interesting way. But I feel like there's a dynamic between her and Grace, Ryan Gosling, that is not fully explored. And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of the like flashbacks to Earth are just not that fully explored. if they were like a little more of the movie and they had a little more going on, I think I might have been more into it. And also, like, the setup of the movie sort of dictates that that's all like in the past, and he can't really like he's like I think he is not getting that. Like, at the beginning of the movie, it works as this parallel where he's recovering his memory. So, like, he's getting the information kind of as we're getting it. But by the end of the movie, there's one particular beat in those flashbacks that I don't want to spoil that I think is interesting, but it annoys me that we never see. Like, he's getting his memory back throughout the first, like, act of the movie, right? There's never a moment where we see him, like, I think it's like the last flashback scene. Yeah, no, because it's the last one chronologically. But it's the last flashback scene, and it's a moment that I would have liked to see his character react to and, like, reflect on in the present. But because of the way the structure of the script works, we kind of just don't see that. Like, we never get a moment where he regains all those memories. It just kind of, it's implied that it happens over time. And that's kind of one area where I'm like, I would have liked to see a bit more of that. I think it could have helped the internal conflict a little bit more. But that's really, I'm making it sound like it's a bigger deal than it is because it's easier to talk about negative things than it is positive things in a review, and I'm trying to make this video longer. It's really not that big of a deal. It's a pretty minor, like, it's a minor beat, and it's something that maybe is handled better in the books. I don't know, but it, like, anytime we're in space, his bond with Rocky, and I love Rocky. What a funny little blorbo of a character. I love how they interact. I love how his species differ. Like, there's so many, like, scientific details. Like, oh, his spaceship is made out of xenon, and usually xenon is a gas, but this xenon is a metal. That's mysterious. That's alien. They do such a good job with, like, the alien and the unknown, but, like, the fear of it turning into the welcome. Like it's not, oh, scary aliens. It's not like horror, it's uplifting, it's inspiring. Like, this is a movie that, advocates for the good of humanity. It sort of exists in this ideal world where humanity is united to respond to a threat. It's kind of similar to, I watched the movie like a few weeks beforehand, just by coincidence. I watched the movie Arrival, which is also about humans trying to deal with a vague extraterrestrial possible threat, and, like, they don't even really know what the threat is at first, so it's half like trying to figure out the potential threat and the other half combating it. And that movie is another great movie in its own way. I'm not going to record a whole review of it, but I logged it on my Letterboxd, and I gave it a 9. I gave it a 4.5 stars, which is the same score I gave Project Hail Mary. That movie's great, but it's a lot more pessimistic about its reflection of humanity as a whole. It's not, like, completely ho-hum, but it's a lot more. Project Hail Mary is very, very uplifting and really tells this story of, like, this. It's just a very feel-good movie, and I was, so swept up in every leg of the journey that Grace goes through, and the bond that he makes with this alien who doesn't even speak his language, and he has to learn how to communicate with him. He learns how to work with him. They learn how to work together to solve this crisis that both of their homeworlds are experiencing. And, they both make sacrifices for each other, and those are such moving scenes. Yeah, it's great. It's worth. It lives up to the hype. It's worth the hype. It's worth seeing in a theater, very much so. It's interesting. It's produced by Amazon. Like, at the beginning of the movie, the Amazon logo flashed on the screen, and then after that, the MGM logo. It's very weird. Seeing these streamer logos and then a classic film logo, but hey, credit to them. They're keeping it in theaters. It's still in theaters, and it sounds like it'll be in theaters for a while more. So I strongly recommend you go see it before it hits streaming, because it's not going to hit the same playing on Amazon with random ads in the middle of it, bro. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to hit the same on your TV in your bedroom with ads playing in the background. But yeah, that's my review of Project Hail Mary. Go see it. It's very good. And soon I will be out with another review. I know I haven't reviewed One Piece live action season 2 yet. I know. It came out like a month and a half ago. I know. I'll get one out. I'm rewatching the show to refresh myself and review it properly. So it will arrive soon. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Arrivederci!